A question from an American fan. He wants to know how much the jump in terms of performance was due to the updates, or if there was an influence from the regulations, the change in the engine mapping and so on.
Well, I think it's from the updates. We had a different car in Silverstone. We have some different pieces, different rear wing, you know, some modifications, some improvements on the floor around the car. So we had some new pieces that we had definitely more downforce in general. For sure, with the engine regulation, you have downforce on braking. You know, for example, until the Valencia race. But in Silverstone, we lost quite a bit of downforce on braking, just on braking, you know. But we gained so much downforce in the other areas from the new pieces. So I think our car gets better because of all these new pieces we brought. And now we will see how it's going to be the regulation again. It's very difficult, you know, to make it clear. The regulation is better for one team more than the other teams because you don't know exactly, you know, the job 100% from the other teams. You know, we never drive a Red Bull. We don't know. It's a big job, and for sure, everybody from Valencia to Silverstone lost downforce. We lost, you know, everybody. But it's very difficult to say how we lost more than the others or the others lost more than you. So, and maybe now we will see, maybe we will change again the regulations, so we need to be ready for all the regulations we will have.
And do you think the fact that with the hard tires, even though we used only in Q1 and FP3, the fact that we were able to make them work was a positive sign?
Well, I think that's a good point. So it was maybe the only race when we used the hard tires that we were using very well the hard tires. So we were always suffering in the previous races with the hard tires. Even in Barcelona, we suffer a lot when we put the hard tires in the race, in the qualifying. In many qualifyings we were using the soft in Q1 because maybe with the hard we were not able to pass, you know. And in Silverstone I was third in the Q1, 1/10 slower than the first with the hard tires. So I think that was really, really positive to show that our car was more competitive in whatever case.
Many people want to know what we can expect in Germany, and they want to know if, because you were always very strong in German races, but for one reason or another, you didn't win. Do you think there can be an opportunity?
I hope. I mean, for sure, you always go to whatever race, you know, with full motivated to win the race. In some races that you go, you can be that is a track that you never had really a victory, you never had really a great job, which it happens in few tracks, you know. But I think the motivation is to be even harder, you know, even more, because maybe it was not great last race, but you know, this year can be different, you know. This year can be different and you can fight for the victory and maybe you can win. So I was always very strong in the German Grand Prix. I had many podiums in Germany. So I hope we have another podium. And thinking about the victory is always the most direction.
You had a very intense fight with your current teammate, yeah, in Nürburgring in 2008. What do you remember?
2007.
7, yes. Yeah. What do you remember?
Well, it was a nice fight from the whole race, and then a few laps to go. It was raining. We changed the tires. I remember I had a lot of vibration on my rain tires on that time, and Fernando was catching me, and we touched a little bit. He passed me, and then we have a little bit of fun after the race. But I mean, it's part of the story, and I hope we have another fight. Not so much like that, but especially this time finishing front. You know, let's try.
Il nostro amico Wolverine vuole sapere, pensando già a Budapest, che cosa si prova a ripassare su quel punto dove hai avuto quell'incidente del 2009. L'anno scorso ci hai pensato?
Ma penso che è più una domanda per l'anno scorso, no? Perché l'anno scorso è stata la prima volta che tornavo alla gara di Budapest e è vero che cioè, quando tu sei in macchina non pensi veramente in incidente, quello passi nella curva e pensi questa curva è quella che ho avuto l'incidente. Questo non esiste perché sennò tu non riesci a guidare. Però quando arrivi lì, no, un anno dopo di tutto quello che è successo, dell'incidente, un momento difficile che ho avuto, sono rimasto una settimana nell'ospedale, poi dopo ho volato in Brasile, sono andato all'ospedale, sono rimasto ancora per fare un'altra operazione. Quindi è stato un momento importante nella mia vita, cioè una storia importante nella mia vita, non una storia per un lato non bella per quello che è successo, però per un altro lato molto bella perché niente di grave è successo con me, sono ancora qui a correre, a vivere normalmente, quindi questa è la parte molto bella. Però quando tu sei in macchina non pensi in quello che è successo con te, non pensi nella tua mamma, nel papà, nella moglie, figlio, in nessuno. Pensa in fare il giro più veloce e essere più consistente possibile. È esattamente quello che ho sentito in Ungheria, anche nei primi giri. Cioè, non passavo lì nei primi giri e pensavo qui è stato dove ho avuto l'incidente. Esattamente non passava questo.
Proprio a proposito di quello
però la cosa più bella era giovedì, quando sono andato a vedere tutti quelli i medici, tutta la gente che lavorava in pista per togliermi dalla macchina, i dottori che mi ha fatto l'operazione, sono andato a mangiare con lui a cena, perché questo è quello che ti dà più piacere, no? Perché sono veramente delle persone che hanno fatto un lavoro difficile, perfetto per aiutarti in un momento molto difficile.
A proposito di sensazioni, Gresi Franchi vuole sapere cosa si prova quando si va sul podio.
Cioè, dipende. Io ho già provato tante cose belle, ma anche tante cose non così belle, perché ho avuto dei podio che ero primo e ero arrivato secondo. Quindi è una sensazione che sei primo lì, vuoi finire primo, cioè qualcosa cambia, no? Quando tu sali nel podio. Nel senso che sei lì, qualcuno ti ha passato alla fine, ha avuto
Nel 2007.
sai, sì.
Però nel 2009, una gara al Nürburgring, dove venivamo da un momento difficile, finire sul podio...
È fantastico, è come una vittoria, se tu fai 100% del suo lavoro, ogni tanto anche più di quello che pensavi, è sicuramente come una vittoria. E poi ci sono anche delle vittorie incredibili che ho avuto, che il feeling non c'è spiegazione, no? Quando tu sali lì e vinci, sai, è veramente una sensazione incredibile.
Brickonen, would like to know if you have seen the Senna movie and what you can tell us about it.
Yes, I saw, and I mean, I think it's not so much to say how strong and how great was Ayrton. Ayrton was really one of the best drivers ever, and what he did in his career was amazing. What he's supposed to do if he didn't have that accident is really supposed to win many more championships, and I think he was special. He was different. I mean, he was really Ayrton was like Pelé, you know, from Brazil, even from Maradona, you know. I think different, you know. He was so special, and I saw the movie. I saw that in his movie you can see everything he did on the track, but you can see a lot of also polemics, you know, around you know, his career, his life. I think it's very interesting, you know, to watch, and I think you miss even more Ayrton, you know, when you see his movie.
Old Farmhouse would like to know how do you cope with the constant change in temperature. In Silverstone we were 20 degrees, you arrived here more or less 15
here
or more.
In Maranello.
Yeah. And he would like to know if you have a wardrobe for 4 seasons always following you?
Listen, I am Brazilian, so I like the hot places, and for sure, in some tracks, it's difficult. For example, sometimes you go to we race in Malaysia. Malaysia is very humid, it's very hot, and it's very difficult physically. It's a race that you lose between 2.5 kilos during the race, because you lose a lot of water, a lot of liquid, and you have places like it's very cold. It's very, you feel even you're even freezing, in the car. So we have everything, in Formula One. We have places that is too hot, places is too cold, and places is really normal and fine. But if I have to choose, I prefer more on the hot conditions.